All right. So, good day, everyone. Yeah, I think it's already recording. Hold on. Yep. There we go. Hi, everyone. Good day. My name is Nico. So, wherever you are, good day, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. So, my name is Nico, and I will be the reporter for the fifth part of this seven-part group reporting for Module 2 of Production and Print and Radio Development Communication Materials, which is the types of print media communication. So, the topic assigned to me would be the copy format, newsletters or newsletter articles, and reports. So, let's start. So let's start with the copy format. So let me just read the passage for you. Articles that are submitted for publication are usually prepared in standard format called copy. So, when an article is actually submitted for publication, it is usually produced in a standard format, and we call it as a copy. So, a copy is like a carefully formatted manuscript that follows a certain rules or established or certain guidelines that is established by a specific journal or a specific publisher. The main reason for this one, or the main reason why we prepare a specific article in a copy format is for us to be able, is for the publisher or for that journal to have consistency, clarity, and then simplicity of review. Okay, so this or the guidelines. So we'll love to move forward in the guidelines or the general guidelines in writing a copy format or of the copy format. So first and foremost, all articles should be neatly typewritten on a short bond paper. Second, type lines should be double spaced. So of course, there are multiple options and space measurement when we write a document or an article. So before the copy format, we are to follow double spacing. Yep. So double spacing is what we're going to be following. So which typically translates to the like 2.0 if we're going to be using like or if we're going to be writing our articles in like Microsoft Word or like Google Documents. Double spacing usually translates to 2.0. Third one is to allow ample space for margin. Okay. Of course, margins are important when we write articles for publication as these write-ups needs ample spaces on each side. For the copy format, we would follow a half 1.5 inch for the margin on top of the page, while on the right and then the left and then the bottom part of the page should have similar margin, which is 1 inch. Okay. So third or the next one would be the first page. Okay. So first is to type your name on the left-hand corner of the page. Below your name, you would need to type the date. Then below the date, you type the slug line of your article. So a slug line, base here, a slug line is a short phrase that you can use to represent the content of your article. It should be descriptive but not too long to be a title. Okay? So when we write article, we should be able to generate a slug line for the article that we write. So you still would be able to have a separate title for your article, but the slug line is like the summary of your title. And then going forward, this report or this presentation, you'd be able to learn why there is a need for us to create a slug line, because we're going to be using that one as well in the succeeding page of your copy format. Okay. So next is to draft the number or the draft or to type the draft number on the right hand corner of your page of your first page. Example, first, second, or third draft. So the main reason for this is because as we submit an article for publication, of course, it would still be up for an editing, which is usually being done by an editor, which leads us to the next guideline for the copy format, which is to start typing the text halfway down the page, leaving half of the page blank for the editor's comment. So earlier we learned that we should also include the draft number on our article. Reason to this is because there are chances where an editor would leave a comment and we would need to revise or polish our articles. And the reason why we need to start writing our story probably in the middle of the page going down is to have ample space for the editor to use it or to use it to be utilized by the editor when writing comments about our article. Okay. Second, or the sixth one or the sixth guideline is to indent all paragraphs using 5 to 7 spaces only. So when we write our article, we make sure that we are very consistent in or all throughout the article. If we are to indent with 5 spaces, we may want to make sure that until the end of the story or until the end of the article, paragraphs are indented 5 spaces for consistency. Next is to treat all paragraphs as complete units and do not separate lines of a paragraph, especially if only 1 or 2 lines are left on the page. So of course as mentioned here in the presentation, we would need to treat paragraphs as complete units. So is say for example, if the paragraph or if the last paragraph for that particular page is already in the bottom part of your the bottom part of your page, and it would need to separate or it would automatically separate because the space in the bottom part of your page is not any more spacious to be able to complete that paragraph, then you may opt to just proceed or just include that particular paragraph in the next page. And then at the bottom page of the page, you would need to type more or the word more if there's still continuation in your story. So next is for the succeeding pages. So for the succeeding pages, of course, you need to type the slug line, the page number, and the top right-hand corner of the page. Example, Calamba Fire slash page 2. Say, for example, your slug line is Calamba Fire, and then it's the second page already of your article. Then you would need to type Calamba Fire slash page 2 on the top right-hand corner of your page. Okay, so this is more of like a heading for the succeeding pages of your article. Next one is to continue the story 5 spaces down from the slug line and page number. So for each succeeding page, we are to start writing the continuation of our story or of our article 5 spaces down the slug line and the page number. And then the third and fourth one, if the story will not end on that page, then you will need to type more because there's still like continuation and your article at the bottom part of your page or of that page. But if the story will end on that page, you would need to type the word end because that's the end already or there's no continuation anymore. Okay, so let's look for the example that I actually just created. Not really sure if it's actually visible, but I believe I would need to zoom in for this one. So here, as you can see here, no, here's your name, and then below your name would be the date. Then below the date would be the slug line. So this is our slug line. Say for example, we're talking or the report is all about sustainable development goals. So here's the slug line. I created a slug line which is sustainable development goals, and then here, as you can see it in here, this one is the draft number. So meaning to say this copy, this is the first draft of the copy, and then here, as you can see, there's like ample space in here this is the space that will be utilized by the editor if the editor would need to leave a comment or say for example a comment for revision or whatnot to polish your work. So this is the space of the editor. Okay, and then you may want to start your article in the middle page, usually in the middle page of the page, because that's like halfway going down. And then if there's still like continuation of your story, then you would need to type more. But in this case, the main reason why I did not include this particular, wait, let me just, this particular this particular paragraph in here, it's because it's not any more spacious for this particular paragraph to be complete. So I decided or opted to just put it here in the second slide. So there's still continuation. That's the reason why there's like the word more. And then during the during on the succeeding pages, uh here's the, as you can see it in here, so you can see it in here. This is the what do you call this? It's like the header of each succeeding pages. I'm not really sure if this is what we call if they call it the header, but at least this is where you will be writing the slug line and then the page number. So in this case, this is the second part of the, or this is the second page of your article already. So we just put the slug line slash the page number, which is page 2. And then before you start or before you continue your writing or your article on the succeeding pages, you may wanna include, or you may want to give space or an ample space, which is like a 5 space in here before you start your, or before you continue your story. And then as you can see it in here, the intentions are very consistent. I actually just use 5 spaces for the intention in here, so you may have to be consistent for each and every paragraph. And then this second page is already the end of my copy or this article. That's the reason why I indicated the word "and" in here. Okay. So, yep, I think we can proceed now to the second topic, which are news articles. So, newsletter articles. So, let me read the presentation for you. So, newsletters are specialized publications that usually serve the interest of a specific group or organization. The information is usually work related and of immediate concern to the members of the organization. Articles in newsletters may either be straight news stories, news briefs, or feature articles. Because of the limited number of pages, the articles are usually short. So in here, newsletter, or in a nutshell, newsletter is like a focus type of publication, because the aim really is just for a particular group or a particular member or organization. It typically shares work-related news and updates that are important to its members. So the content includes brief news stories, updates, or feature articles. All are concise due to the limited space. So most of the time, no, say it is used for a company, for is used by like a company or like an organization to, say for example, generate updates within their organization, and the data and information, is just like dedicated and relatable to that specific group. So let's say for example, like when it comes to like company events, so say for example, for a private company, they would be generating news articles that would include featured stories about company updates, company events, or say for example, you have a new hire or a new addition or a new member for your team, and then or say a company event that just finished. So that those were like stories that could possibly be included in the newsletter if we're talking, or if we are talking about the corporate the corporate company environment. Usually in our company, that's those are like the stories that's actually included in newsletters. Okay, so examples, or here are some examples of newsletters. So there are companies or there are organizations that usually publish a specific newsletter on a monthly basis. There are bi-monthly. So say for example, if a specific organization is publishing or is used to publish news articles or newsletter articles on a monthly basis, so there's gonna be newsletter for each month. So say newsletter for January, February, March, April, May, June, and so on and so forth. But at least in my experience with the organizations that I've been with, we usually, or our company usually, publish newsletter articles on a quarterly basis. Say for example, the first quarter of this fiscal year, the second quarter of 2025, there's like newsletter to be published. And usually, nowadays, newsletters are also being disseminated through electronically. Because say for example, within our company or within our organization, we actually have our own application, or like a communication platform, a social media communication platform for across the organization, and that's where we post our newsletter. For some organization, they usually send the newsletter through email, um, just because there has been a rise already of like email marketing. So newsletters usually are being sent through email as well. But at least for our organization, we are using a specific app. And in that specific app, that's where we found, or that's where we are able to see the newsletter that's being produced by our company on a quarterly basis. So let's proceed to the next part, or I think this is the last part of my report already. So reports are documents written to present ideas and facts to decision makers. They are written differently from from popular forms of publications like news articles, newspaper articles, novels, comics, because the contents are more often than not are work related and technical. So reports on a nutshell is a written document used to share ideas and facts with decision makers. So unlike the usual reports or like articles that we see, like newspapers or printed materials such as novels, comics, reports are usually work related. No, it's very technical. It's very technical, or factual information is actually included in here to help people, or to help specific people or group of people make informed choices. So here are some examples of reports, no? So as you can see it in here, it's very technical, it's very data driven. It is not for consumption of a normal of a normal person, no, because it is actually targeted for a specific group of people, or a specific member, or a specific organization. So we usually encounter this one if you are actually working in a corporate environment mo, ano, you would usually, or you would from time to time encounter reports, or you yourself would need to report for work, no, for work purposes. So in our case, and or in my case, no, I would usually encounter doing reports, or presenting a report, or creating reports when I would need to generate updates on specific performance evaluation or performance issue. Say for example, when we try to measure where are we already when it comes to like following our key performance indicators, that's when we create reports. So it's very technical, it's very data driven, because it's just targeted to specific member of the organizer of a specific organization, or a specific group of people. So I think that's the end already of my report. And yeah, thank you for listening. And I hope you were able to learn about the copy format, newsletter articles, and then reports as well. So I think there's still next part, there's still another part of this presentation, or of this group reporting. So the sixth part of our report is all about Aldrin, our group mate, will elaborate more on I think the formats of report, or of doing reports. So yep, I hope you'll still be able to check on Aldrin's report, so that you'll be able to learn more about reports. Thank you. Have a great day, guys. Bye bye.